Hi everybody, welcome back to the Renaissance Builder. Today's episode, I'm actually just going to jump right into this without the whole intro cutscene because this is kind of a short video and more or less just a progress update or experiment video. I don't know what you want to call it. Maybe even a vlog. I don't know. But I want to talk about lighting today. My continuing efforts to get the right lighting in this here little mini studio. I've made a couple things. I've done a couple things to make a difference. One of those being, you can see behind me, is I've got the light, the backdrop light figured out. And the way I did that is I actually took, if you remember the lights that I have hung on the ceiling, I put normal. So I removed the Philips Hue bulbs. I took these out. And I just put normal LED bulbs in there. Normal LED bulbs don't seem to cause a problem with video shooting. I don't know if it's just a different driver or how they do it, but it doesn't seem to be an issue. So I put normal LED bulbs in there, and then I actually used these light filters. So these light filters, they're kind of interesting. They call them jelly light filters. Like when you put them up. In fact, I can probably do it to this light here. It only allows, it only allows that certain color of light to get through. And you can, there's like a bunch of different colors and stuff. Like, here we got yellow and red, so that should make kind of an orangish light, if I'm not mistaken. And if I hold it like this, you might be able to tell. Yeah, you can actually see that. So you got yellow and red, and then in between it's more of an orange, where the two different colors of light combine. Hey everybody, could you do me a favor and click on that like button? I'd really appreciate it. It makes a big difference as to how these videos are promoted. It would help a lot. So hit that like button. Thanks. Super cheap $12 option. I basically used green and blue filters on those lights up there to get that color backdrop. But here's what I want to do today, and it has to do with those lights that I reviewed earlier, those El Cheapo studio lights. I say El Cheapo, they really weren't that cheap, and the product was a decent quality, so I shouldn't down them. Anyhow, these lights, I have one shining on me right now, and the thing I really like about these lights is I don't need fancy diffusers and stuff. Like these can, because of the adjustability of these lights, they work pretty well in many situations, which means I can get it in close, I can keep it far away. But there is one thing that I'm finding difficult to deal with. And you'll notice in the last video I had to use some different placements. I had to get the lights in different places because one of the things I want to accomplish is my self-illuminated, well, pretty much like I am right now, with, a white to yellowish light on myself, but have the background as a blue-greenish light. I just like it. I don't know if it's going to stay, but I like it. The problem with these lights is by the time I get enough light on my person, then they splash the back wall as well, and it dilutes the blue-green light. So that's kind of annoying. I would also like to be able to turn, so much I have to learn about this, the exposure down to accent the colored lights more. And I guess I need to be able to narrow, the point is I need to be able to narrow this light down so it only actually hits me. It doesn't hit the back wall. And I got to doing some research on this. I thought it would have a better name than this, but there's a gadget that they oftentimes put on softbox lights and videography that's called a grid. And it's really that simple. That's the name, but what it is it's literally like a grid that straps to here that's usually a couple inches deep. And what it does is it focuses, well, it doesn't focus the light, but it prevents the light from, I guess it narrows the beam, is what it does. It's not really focusing, but it prevents the light from spreading around. allowing you to aim the light at a very at a smaller and specific object, my person, to be specific. So that's what I want to do. I'm going to get out my inner crafty person, and I'm going to try making some grid boxes, I guess, for these lights, at least one of these lights, out of cardboard. I'm just going to make it out of cardboard. Probably tape it on, paint it black. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's the objective for today, is I'm going to try making a grid box. It's just called a grid for these here lights, so that I can actually aim it specifically at one object myself, and see how that goes. All right, so let's get started with this. It should be pretty easy, but let's see how it goes. Okay, so first thing we need to do is figure out what in the world we're actually making. So the whole intention of this thing is to have essentially a box or an egg crate. That should be a pretty universal term, an egg crate that sits on top of this light, so that you see it from a very narrow angle kind of thing. So need to know the dimensions, and we're going to have a border, a perimeter, and then there's going to be slats in the middle. So if we measure long, we're about 7.5, and tall, we're about 5. So I'm just going to write that down. So 7.5 and 5. 7.5 wide and 5 tall. Now, for the 7.5 inch pieces, I need one. I'm really flying by the seat of my pants here. So I'm just kind of throwing numbers out here that seem like they might look good. So I'm going to go with, hopefully this doesn't actually cut down the illumination. If it does, I may have to take pieces out and I may have to play with it, but for now I'm just going to kind of go with 1 inch squares and see how that works. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces that are, so that's 4 pieces that are 7.5 long, and then no, that's a piece of dirt. Get off there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll make 7 pieces, 5 inches. If I have my surface right like that, and okay, I want to come up there. All right, so if I'm looking at the surface like this, the light spread coming off of this surface with a 1 inch box. I'm roughing this, guys. So with a 1 inch box, this light is going to be able to get out at roughly a 45-degree angle. But if I make the box deeper, then it narrows the angle to which the light can get out of the box. And that's essentially the whole object of this. Sorry if it's upside down. So that's essentially the whole object of this. So this is my light. This is how you look at it, right? And the light comes off. If I'm only 1 inch deep, then the light should be able to get out here at a 45-degree angle. If I want to narrow that angle, I raise that dimension, and it narrows the angle to which the light can get out before it hits the wall of the egg crate. That's the idea we're working with. That's what I'm trying to accomplish. So I'm going to go with 2 inches. I mean, I don't feel like doing the math, and I don't know how narrow of an angle I need. Like I said, we're kind of winging it. So I'm going to go with 2 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the cardboard we need, a bunch of 2-inch pieces that are 7.5 and 5 inches. Now that I have all of these pieces cut, so I have the main frame that's going to be the box, and I opted, instead of trying to surround it, just cut it in two pieces and use the cardboard's natural already bent corners. So that'll work. We'll just tape it up. And the next step that I need to do is I'm going to puzzle piece this together. So what that means is I'm going to cut slits halfway through. So I'm just going to cut slits halfway through each one of these, and then halfway through the opposing side of these so that they puzzle piece together. Okay, finally got all the slots cut and all the pieces I need, so I'm going to go ahead and stick this thing together real quick, and I should need a little bit of tape, and we'll see how it goes together, I guess. So it's easy enough. Let's just hope this slot technique works in the cardboard. Alright, it's not too bad. This might actually be a little more difficult than I thought. Alright. This looks like a hot mess. It really does. Alright, so a little bit of straightening out. Not gonna lie, it's pretty bad. But you get the idea. In fact, you can actually see already that it narrows the degree to which you can see through it. Right, now I stretch it out, it makes a nice box. And everything's gonna fit just like that. Ta-da! Now, looks like I got a little piece right there. Stretch that out a little bit. Okay. Very, very primitive box, but I mean, there it is for cardboard. You really can't say much. All right. So this is how it works. Light, box. Now you can't actually see the light at a certain angle. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to tape it on for now, and then we're gonna test it out, see how she works. Yes, this is the flattest side. All right, so now we're going to test this out. I have both of my studio lights set up at 100% at full white light. And we're just looking at the back wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the light that has no grid on it. So I'm going to turn that light on and see the difference. All right, so you can see that we're pretty well lit up, like across the whole of the back wall. And if I turn the light, it really doesn't make a whole lot. Like now I'm actually focused on the other wall. Like you got to move a lot to make a difference. All right, so that's the ungridded light. Now we're gonna try the light with the grid on it. And wow, that makes a huge difference. So it looks a lot more like a spotlight. It actually looks a little bit less bright, maybe. But the camera's also making adjustments to that, so could be fooling it. In fact, if I turn this on, let's look. That, and then this. Yeah, it's definitely less bright. And some of that has to do with the brown of the cardboard that I used, but here's the real telltale. You can see with just a little bit of turning that it makes a huge difference. And if I aim at the other wall, I don't get nearly as much light splashed onto the back wall. So I can aim this at something like, say, oh, well, look at the Iron Man down there. All right, back wall. So we're focused on the back wall. Now I can aim it at the Iron Man, illuminate him without splashing the back wall so much. So yeah, this works. This works pretty well, actually. Kind of digging it. Well, there you have it. I didn't spend a dime on the materials for this thing. Literally, I used whatever tape I had, some cardboard and some scissors, and we made a grid for this here light. Now, I actually have this light sitting pretty close to me, and this isn't the most ideal. Like, I still need some fill light over here, but the best part is you can see this thing is shining on my face pretty hard, but the light behind me on the wall is not diluted. It's still nice. It's still a nice saturated blue, bluish green, which is exactly what I wanted. So this is working out pretty well. I'm gonna fine tune it. Usually these grids are painted black, so I'll probably paint the thing black so that it does not add a color to the light that's shining on you. Because right now all the light is reflecting off the brown cardboard, which is going to add, it's going to add something to the light, which you may not want. And the cardboard is probably thicker than you would really want to. I got to stop looking at this light. It's blinding me. I'm an idiot. But the cardboard is probably a bit thicker than something you would want to use. Like if you had a nice cardstock, or I'm not sure what else. I mean, shoot, if you want to do it with the cardboard, do it with the cardboard. Might be a little easier if you actually cut these slots. Actually cut a slot, you know, a 1/16 of an inch slot in there for everything to fit in. It would probably work easier. I mean, you can do, there's ways to do it better. This is literally a fly-by-the-seat job, and it looks kind of crappy, but man, it works. It really does. So, with that being said, I'm pretty happy with this. It's coming along. It's not where I want it yet. Like I said, I still need a bit of fill light on this side, so I don't look like a complete shadowy mess. And this will also allow me to turn down the saturation, because you can see my face is pretty overexposed. And if I turn the exposure down so that my face isn't so overexposed, then the light behind me will I don't want to say saturate, but the colors will be more vibrant, I guess. I don't know. You'll notice it more. So, I'm not done, but this definitely, it was an idea, and it works, and we're going to go from there. So, I guess if any of you guys want to, you know, play around with grids on your boxes, by all means do so, man. They're easy to make, and they make a big difference. So, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. I know this was kind of a silly video. This is video, vlog, whatever you want to call it. I appreciate you for watching. Hopefully this isn't too long, like under 10 minutes or whatever. And I appreciate if you watch this long. Make sure you hit the subscribe and the bell icon, because it helps out. It helps out. We are chugging along on the way to get the subscriber count up where we can actually start making these this channel like legitimate, and that would be awesome. So by all means, please hit that subscribe and bell icon. And for future videos, like I said, this was just kind of a silly vlog-ish for an experiment I wanted to do to see if it would work. It did. So if you guys want to copy that or improve it, hey, if you have an idea how to make it better, throw it in the comment. Let me know. I love comments. So thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it. You guys have a great night, good weekend, whatever. Enjoy yourself until the next video.